Numerous patterns found in urban phenomena can be characterized as directed geonetworks. To analyze many geonetworks, urban experts may need to go through multiple analysis levels, summarizing all geonetworks at the macro level, comparing or summarizing parts of geonetworks at the meso level, and inspecting individual geonetworks at the micro level. We propose a new visualization technique. We first aggregate all geonetworks to generate the background. Then each geonetwork is plotted on one map, in an edge stacking way. The edge's thickness represents the weight. The arrows indicate the direction. We then equip it with level of detail rendering, progressive crossing minimization, and K-coloring, to enhance the visual scalability. Thereby, it enables users to perform multi-level analysis of many geonetworks within a coherent context effectively. In our design, geonetworks are hierarchically clustered for level of detail rendering. Initially, only the geonetworks at the root level of the hierarchies are presented for the macro level analysis. For drilling down, users can slide the target level panel to split all the geonetworks, or conduct precise splits and merges by clicking nodes in target geonetworks. Then, meso and micro level analysis can be performed. Users can also pin geonetworks for highlight. We conduct quantitative experiments, 3 case studies, and a user study to evaluate our technique. This video shows the first case and the user study. In the first case, we analyze the propagation patterns of air pollution in the BTH region. Each geonetwork represents a propagation pattern. Thick edges are mostly inside Shijiazhuang, Beijing, and Tianjin, the 3 largest cities in the dataset. The edges among them are relatively thin, suggesting air pollutants spread mainly within cities. Then we zoom in on the Shijiazhuang region. A purple geonetwork connects most districts of this region with its thick edges. Moreover, these edges each have 2 opposite and similarly bright and sized arrows, suggesting that air pollutants frequently were transported back and forth. We drill down the purple geonetwork by splitting it 4 times. Still, the finer-grained geonetworks connect the districts with bidirectional edges, which further confirm the findings. We then zoom in on Beijing. The propagation patterns in Beijing are mainly clustered into cyan, green and red geonetworks. Particularly, the green and red geonetworks connect 2 districts of Beijing, and 1 district in another city, via thick and bidirected edges. In other words, close cooperation between the 2 cities needs to be considered for better pollution control. Finally, we zoom in on Tianjin. There are 2 main geonetworks, the blue one and the orange one. The blue geonetwork connects the 3 districts in Tianjin, with bidirected edges, indicating that air pollutants were transported back and forth, like that in the Shijiazhuang region. The orange geonetwork reveals that all 3 districts suffered from air pollutants propagating from the northeast. But pollutants there were rarely transported conversely. We split the orange geonetwork to see details. It is split into a pink one and an orange one. The 2 geonetworks each dominate one of the edges respectively, rather than occupying them equally. That is, air pollutants were less often transported from multiple paths simultaneously. In the user study, we compared GeoNetverse with the alternative, to understand GeoNetverse's weaknesses and strengths. We use the 2 synthetic datasets of human mobilities. The distribution of locations is shown in these figures. Participants are required to analyze the datasets and answer 10 questions, using GeoNetverse and the alternative, respectively. The alternative has an aggregation view and an individual view. Users can perceive the overall patterns from the aggregation result. The aggregation view can filter individuals by clicking nodes and directed edges inside. Only the individuals comprising the selection are left. Individuals in the individual view are sorted by weight in descending order. Users can hover over or pin an individual to highlight it in the aggregation view. When using the alternative to compare and summarize parts of GeoNetworks, users have to browse multiple maps and keep them in mind, imposing mental burdens. In our method, all GeoNetworks are plotted on the same map in a level of detail mechanism. Users can identify which two locations have the widest edge, and obtain the GeoNetworks passing through it. Since details of GeoNetworks are visible, users can easily identify the location where the inflows are more than outflows by comparing the GeoNetworks. For example, in this location, most of the GeoNetworks terminate here. The red one indicates that many GeoNetworks partially pass the location and partially terminate here. By splitting the red one, we can obtain the details. In the morning rush hour, such a location can be considered a central business district. Users can pin the GeoNetworks that terminate here. In this way, users can learn the origins of these GeoNetworks in the same map. Furthermore, the shared paths of them can also be clearly revealed.